Hey everybody, welcome once again to Double Tap. And this week you're calling it a very special episode.
Yeah, it's kind of like we'll just say very special episode. I don't know how else to put it kindly.
You know, very special episodes were big in the 80s and 90s. Well, the 80s especially.
Yeah.
And also from the 80s, there was something else that was pretty big, and a certain character was pretty big, and you have an app related to that.
Yeah, so, well, I don't know if anyone saw the new trailer for the A-Team movie. It looks like they're redoing the A-Team, but without Mr. T.
Mistake.
It's horrible. But you can get your very own Mr. T app now. Like,
okay.
There could be multiple Mr. T apps on the site. I don't know, on the App Store. But there's one called iPity.
Uh-huh.
I guess it's free. I think for a while it was paid. But I don't know how that works. So hopefully T got some of the money. But iPity, where you can just randomly hear a bunch of Mr. T-isms, if you will.
And so Mr. T is there. We see him and his mouth moves.
Yeah, it looks like it looks like a graphic they took from the Mr. T cartoon. If you remember, if you're old enough to remember the Mr. T cartoon, complete with JPEG compression on the image. That's what I really like.
I don't know if you can see it in the video, but if you get the free app, you can really make out the compression.
And you can just randomly have T tell you what's up.
Do you pity the fool that buys this app?
Well, it's free.
Well,
I do. That's always strange when these apps go free. After a while, I feel like, well, what about the sucker who paid 99 cents for it? But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's from the people who brought us I Farted.
Ah, yes, another classic.
Expect that level of quality.
Excellent. You won't be disappointed.
No.
You can also choose the saying, and you discovered that if you shake the phone, what happens?
There's multiple T's. They all start speaking at once. It's like a room full of Mr. T's.
It's even scarier with headphones on, I think. In other app news, there's a new app for the iPhone that's $1,000.
Yep.
But it might be a bargain.
How so? This is what, the I'm rich?
The old I'm rich app. No. This is called Bar Max, and it's for people who are studying for the bar exam, and apparently the same materials normally in other forms are $3-4 grand. So it actually is a bargain, perhaps, at $1,000.
I don't know, it just feels morally wrong spending $1,000 for an application on your iPhone.
More than the phone.
Yeah, it just seems, I couldn't, even if I could afford it and I needed that application, I couldn't pull the trigger, I couldn't do it.
iPhone currently is on OS 3.0, depending on when you see this, might be a newer version. Now, you were saying that that newer version might be being held up a little bit by another product.
Yeah, I guess there was some talk last week that, this whole tablet announcement coming, that they're holding back iPhone 4.0 because it shares a lot of similar tech with the tablet OS, and you know how Mac fans are. They'll dig inside the kernel and source code, and they'll find references to iTablet or iSlate or whatever they call it. So they're holding back the phone OS until the tablet is announced.
Well, I have good news for you, folks. There is another OS
that
you can install on your phone through the App Store.
Shocking.
And run. It's called WindOS. Now, if you run it all together, it looks like Windows, and that's because basically, okay, it's not really an operating system. It's more of an emulator that takes you down a nostalgic path. So you see, you start the app and you get that sound, which is great. It's the sound of a
really crappy PC.
Early 90s PC. Yeah. You see the boot ROM statement, and then it loads up, and look at that, it's the Windows desktop.
Complete with its own set of applications, right?
You've got Minesweeper and the notepad, and you can actually, the little keyboard can come up, and you can write in a note, which it's a shame they can't somehow make the design of the keyboard match the old system. But there weren't many touch keyboards back then. And you can also play Minesweeper, as I said, and there's a browser. You double-click the big E. I don't know what that might stand for. And you get a browser within your WindOS window, and you shut it down, and you get the same shutdown. It takes forever to shut down, which is a feature in this case. But I think what would be neat is, what if they started having add-ons with additional programs?
You could download Solitaire.
Sure.
Inside the WindOS.
Inside WindOS.
Yeah. Excellent.
99 cents. It's humorous.
How long before that's free? Or the lawsuit comes?
The lawsuit might come before it's free. But that's a look at WindOS, 99 cents. Takes you down memory lane. Long before we had all these touch screens. And back when Mr. T was in the A-Team.
Yeah.
Splendid. Hey, don't forget everybody, till next week,
He's still in the 18. What are you talking about?
Pinch
He's a real life superhero.
and stretch. Goodbye, everybody.